Hi everyone. Hello. Hello everyone in the live stream. 93 of you. Just waiting to confirm that they can hear me. Might take 15-20 seconds. I don't know. Depends on how long. Can you hear me, John? Yes? Yes! Okay, they can hear me. Right, okay. Good evening, morning, or dead of night, or lunchtime, or wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the live stream. Hello. Hi, everyone. We've got some obviously very special guests, but we couldn't actually get them, so we've got John, Liam, and Matt instead. I'll just activate them, so you should be able to hear them now. Guys, welcome.
Hello, Mike.
Welcome to the live stream.
Before.
They should be able to hear you now.
Hello.
Oh, I said I wasn't going to judge maps until we've got 100 viewers. So if it's not going above 93, I'm off.
Be here a while.
Yeah.
Oh, we could just hang around a while.
Yeah, let me open a few YouTube windows.
Yeah, exactly. All my devices powered up.
Okay. Yeah, there is going to be a bit of lag. YouTube has a setting. You can either have a more immediate interaction with the audience or slightly less but better quality. I went for that one because, you know, we're going to have maps come up and I'd rather be able to see people see them fairly clearly if they want to. So we've got higher quality stream, but a delay of 15-20 seconds between chat, us talking and chat responding to us, which is fine. We just need to be aware of that. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on chat anyway. Okay, so let's move over to include everyone. So, hello. There you go. You should be able to see everyone now. Can chat just confirm that everything's okay? It should be.
I'm okay.
John's okay, apparently. We've got Liam there and Matt, and for those of you who don't know these gentlemen, these are interns.
Like all of you are in real time, and I'm sort of delayed. Is anyone else getting this effect?
There's going to be
we're all delayed.
There will be a little bit, Liam, as your cams are coming to my computer, being processed by OBS, and then going back to your computer. So
I'm not watching myself. I'm watching your view of myself.
But it will still be way quicker than if you watched the live stream itself.
Yeah. It's something to do with electricity, I think.
Yeah, so it's something to do with the speed of light, and Einstein worked it out, and I don't know. Anyway, all right, okay, yeah, it looks like we're good. Everyone is here, and they can hear us and see us all. Great. There are some people that are quite glad you're here, Liam, because you're the favourite meme target, apparently.
All right, do you want me to do some faces?
Yeah. Make sure we get some good Liam faces. Yeah, throughout this these proceedings. Yeah. All right.
Good one.
Okay, right. So the format of tonight, then, let's just say what's going on. A month or so ago, we put out a request for people who have got ideas for an Empires of the Undergrowth free play or custom game map, and we had lots of entries, including the ones from Bilibili, which is the Chinese video site we also put running a competition on, close to 200, and then cut down people who were not really entries and repeat entries, about 150, of which about 70 entered the YouTube competition. And we've cut down those 70-ish entries to 22 that we're going to look at today. And the idea here is that, quite simply, we'll look through all 22 of them, a couple of minutes each, have a quick chat about them, and then at the end of the of proceedings, we'll have a short break. During the break, we will decide the final three. And after the break, we'll have a look at a couple of honourable mentions that couldn't be considered to win the competition for various reasons, but were still worth a look anyway. And then we'll talk about those final three maps and make our decision. So, I've just realised I cannot see anything that the chat is saying. That's better, I can now. Okay, great.
They can't hear us.
They're mainly saying ant.
Okay, that's
Ant,
good.
ant,
Fine.
ant.
That's mostly why I say.
Right.
Yeah, ant.
Okay.
Ant.
Music seems to be okay. Music levels all right. Yeah, people can hear what it is. Yes, it's the New Year one that's going at the moment. Okay. Right. So let's. Are we sitting comfortably?
I'm not sitting.
John's at a standing desk because he's one of those people. Yeah.
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just your knees, John.
Okay. How long will this be? An hour and a bit, maybe. We'll see. We'll have to see.
Have you got somewhere to be?
If you've got somewhere to be, we'll wait for you if you like. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. Honestly. Okay, let's get going. So let's start off map number 1, which is called Neon Beast, which is from Ant BZK64, who's the guy who looks after our wiki, by the way. Yes, so quite a prominent community member. But this is his idea, Lunar New Year swamp themed. I think he likes that map. Appropriate that this music is playing. I know you guys probably can't hear it. But yeah, the New Year music is playing. But I think he's done a Neon Beast shaped map, hasn't he?
Yeah.
With a firecracker at the side of it.
With a firecracker?
Yes,
I didn't spot that.
Just the firecracker, yeah.
I'm not sure how well the firecracker would actually translate if you put it into... Unless the map is huge, it probably wouldn't be very...
You see it in the bottom left. It looked like that.
As long as it was a sufficiently high resolution map, a sufficiently large map to actually create enough pixels for that.
Okay, so go on, John. You start.
I was quite impressed with, if you look at any of the nest entrances and you look at how far they've got to travel to the other nest entrances, all of them have got like a reasonable distance to them, like 2 different other nest entrances. I thought that was quite nice.
I've got to ask. Was the issue about circular bridges stated in the competition or not?
No, it was stated that people could include whatever they liked and we would work around it.
Right.
So if fire ant bridges, it's not an obvious rule, but they can't create a circle, so you can't walk over them and then back a different way back to your nest. But if and there will be some maps where that happens. We've just said to people that we're going to get. They're not getting a 1-to-1 recreation anyway. Hey Liam, you've got your 100 viewers, by the way.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, I can start having opinions now.
Yes, you can. Yeah, but all of the maps are going to have to be changed somewhat to work anyway. So any things like that isn't crucial, we can change, and if they are crucial, we'll adapt them. So the idea still works. Okay.
It's kind of our fault for not making that clear, because we'll make work for ourselves for any of these where the bridges are important to the mechanics of the design, which they are in this case. I think
what we'd would have ended up doing though is making even more for ourselves in having to vet these, if you know what I mean. If we said we were going to be very strict about the rules, so I think it's better this way around.
All right, so it's beautiful. It's a Neon Beast. Those bridges, just like the first idea that I've got, they would have to be actually joined. I can't see how that would work otherwise, but then it'd still be a good map. Yeah, I think it'd work quite well. We'll move on to the next one. Suited randomizer. We'll have to check that after the stream. Okay. Right. Okay. The next map. This is Mr. Bag 15 did not submit a name, so it's just Mr. Bag 15's map. Okay. Right, I'd like to speak to Mr. Bag 15 because I had questions.
It's also each colong has their own little high ground spot, but I think that might be my fault, not his. Yeah.
I'm going to say it's your fault, Mike.
Okay, yeah. Most things are.
This statement here: water levels rise again, blocking off the bridges to the middle, letting colonies fight each other. When the water levels rise, blocking off the bridges to the middle, the colonies can't fight each other, right?
The way I interpreted it was that you can't fight each other for when the water's up, and then the water lowers and you can fight. the way I interpreted it.
Yeah. I think that's the idea. But there's also there's two levels of water, right? So you've got your neighbour to the right or left, which you can fight on the first level of water, and then with the water drops again, you can fight everybody. Or is that your?
Seems to be what
is that your ally? Are they allies? I don't know if that was.
They might be. They can or can't be. So
we have to think every
mini battle or wider battle.
Well, every map has to be allies or free for all, doesn't it? It's
so if you have 4 players, it'd be almost like a knockout.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love all of these maps where the water causes these kind of situations.
Interesting. Yeah, ones that we haven't got in the game yet. Yeah. Okay, next up. Many Islands. Swamp Theme map by Peeps. Pour one out for Peeps. Has recently left the Discord. I don't know why, but left the Discord. So yeah. One for our fallen comrade.
It was taking too long for us to judge the maps. That's probably why.
Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah. Still looks the game, as far as I'm aware. Just left the server. Anyway.
So I've got a note here, and you know what? I don't know how you feel about this, John, because you're the master of free play. But these are free play maps, right? So one of the ways I've judged these is on fairness of the different colonies. And I know you've got 3v1 maps sort of appearing now, so I don't know how important that is anymore. But in this case, there seems to be a clear, I don't know, advantage or disadvantage, I can't tell, but there's a very different colony, which is the one on that middle island, which only gets cut off from the outer islands, doesn't really need bridges. It's like a very different situation for that colony. That's the note I made anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think if we were a multiplayer game, it would matter a lot more. I know Dunes gets a lot of playtime, and it is you get a different experience based on where you start in the Dunes. It's quite different. So,
but for a map like this, would you want to be able to choose? Like, would you play this? I mean, it'd be a completely different experience being on one of the islands or being in the center, right? So, would you have that option in the free play setup to choose that you were going to be in that starting position?
I'm sure there's plenty of people who would restart the map and probably do on the Dunes to get the starting position that they want. And in future, that is coming.
It's surely something we can do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming in the future, but it's not ready yet.
Yeah, Naked Singularity. The competition entries closed at the start of the month, so we are a bit late in judging. Yeah, we were busy. Okay, we okay for the next one?
Yeah.
Next one.
I just wanted to add that was a nice key, and it was very clear.
Yes. Very clear what's going on. Okay. Next up, we have Straw Clutch by Noctazar. Okay, got some things to say about this one. I mean, very detailed description of what's going on this one.
I just wanted to play this, but I want to play with 3 other people. I just think the entire scenario is really exciting. So just I can just imagine like everybody rushing for the aphids, and then the whole game being this trade of aphids, or trying to run down, steal them from your neighbor. It just looks like loads of fun, and like it could be a fairly fast-paced match as well, which is something I was interested in, with free play games tending to be quite long.
I've got no real feel how this would feel to play, but that's quite exciting. Like, because I think resources will come very quickly in this game, so you grow whoever had them would grow very quick. It's like a tug of war, but over the aphids.
Yeah.
So whoever's you're grabbing them, hoarding them, and you're growing really rapidly in power.
But so I can imagine like ending up with a 3-on-1 situation where someone gets too big and everyone sort of works together to take the aphids away.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking about if there was 4 humans playing as well. I'm not sure if the AI would figure that out.
Well, that's up to you, really, isn't it, Lynn?
Your new AI.
All right. Okay. So, anything else to say before we move on? You like this one? Yeah. Okay. Next.
The aphids are good. The mechanic of the aphids is quite nice. So. Go on.
No, go on. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Next.
Yeah, next up, we have Riverbend. I think a better name for this will probably be Meander. But this is Aulenstein submitted this one. So I quite like this one. This was my. I'm not judging. I'm just saying this is one of my I'm not judging. I'm not judging you guys. I'm not judging this competition. So this is not my choice. But I like this one. I think this is a clever way of doing a 3v1. Is having a meander of a river.
I just want to mention something at the beginning of this, is that the underground I actually found interesting, is that he's blocked off the underground to start with. So you almost got to race just to get out, figure out the underground puzzle before you can get to the surface. So I thought that made an interesting start.
That is. Yeah, there's not many people concentrated that much on the underground.
Yeah,
so it's nice to see that.
Quite a few people just. Understandably, the surface, and then someone in the Billy competition even said, "Yeah, you guys work out the underground."
In fact, it's a good point, John. Are there any other levels where there's a significant enemy force in the cavern at the exit?
I play with it in Adventure. I play with it in the level Adventure, in that you do have to harvest a bit underground in order to be able to get out, but not significant. So it's an idea I haven't actually had before, and I'm definitely, even if we don't make the surface map, I'm definitely gonna make use of that underground concept.
Yeah. Down
the line.
Fantastic. Yeah. There you go, Aulenstein. Even if you didn't win, John's going to steal your idea anyway. Okay, next up we have Four Giants. Cool looking map. Cool looking idea, this one.
Yeah, very pretty, this one.
Like with the
Matt, you're the lead artist.
Yeah, you remember, it sticks in my mind, this map does, for the obvious reason, the image that you're presented with. From a gameplay perspective, it's quite symmetrical, isn't it?
I did have a note that if we were going to do this, that whatever that blob is in the north and the south, I would do 4, and then only have one bridge to each one. So then you haven't got the circular bridge problem. That was just how to solve the. Yeah, I don't know what those blobs are.
I mean, it's
just 4 anyway.
The idea of using the mini map, as it were, to make art is not something that would be new to the game. We've done that a few times. The Hungry Spider and the Christmas Spider, and what's the other one, John? The roguelike.
I imagine playing this level, though, it would also look weird from the playing perspective, right? I mean, some of these legs are quite narrow. You'd see there was something going on as well. I mean, outside of that, it plays a lot like any other island map, really, apart from the thin connections. Yeah, symmetrical. Yeah, bilateral in 2 different directions. Bilateral symmetry. Okay, right. Let's move on to our next map, which is Sebastian's map. Sebastian, I believe, is the name of the submitter, who also goes by Super Saiyan 3185. Did not give otherwise a name for the map. But this is one that's some nice artwork with felt tip pens with a very clear key as well to see what's going on. And a nice...
Another one of the non-symmetrical maps. So we've got starting points that all give very different experiences. Some nice choke points on a lot of the starting points as well, so you'd be able to hold out. It's actually hard to see where all the bases are, but there's one in the bottom right there. Looks like heading towards the ocean. Is that the sea?
Yeah, I counted 3
I can see
when I went
4.
through it. Oh, you can see all 4.
Right? There's one sort of bottom right.
There's
one
bottom
left,
right,
and
bottom
one
left.
bottom middle.
There's one that island. Right.
No matter where you start in this map, your surface experience will be different. So each one is a very different location, which is great. I think it's unique for this map.
Yeah.
Yeah, very different. An island, a small island, a big island, and then on land.
The water level changes are really just about shortcuts, I guess, is it? It looks like, you can take a shortcut
always
around
water
the side of the
versus
base.
water rises, falls, yeah. So that small kind of lip, yeah. Okay. Yeah, nice map, nice artwork as well. Okay, next one is The Arena, submitted by Salad Squid.
I think 3 of the colonies on here get a very different experience from the one, and the way it's worded suggests that you're meant to play the central colony.
In the center, I had that down. Which is again, like, I don't know if that's I don't know what our rules on that are, because if it was going to be an extra level, it would be incredibly appropriate. And I mean, I like the idea of having to. Maybe what I do in an extra level is have those colonies, as they got higher up the mountain, more and more dangerous. Almost like you got to pass each one, because that's how you'd have to defeat them, right? One after another. Well, yeah, maybe the last one.
There's there's a couple of maps in this list that I thought would make decent free play maps, even though they've kind of been presented as extra levels. Also, there's 1 or 2 in the honourable mentions we'll get to later, which is the other way around. Like, they wouldn't work very well as free play maps, but have been submitted as extra levels, but they're worth a look anyway. But this is one that I thought, because of its kind of fairly straightforward, homogeneous design, would probably work fine as a free play map, so that's why it's in the finals.
Yeah. It's definitely a 3v1, I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of set up like that sort of thing.
Might be a little biased to the centre, but okay, says the Magpie Bird. Yeah, I think you're right. But that's okay. We're a single player game. It's not so much something. Oh, imagine if we had to deal with multiplayer. Who'd make a multiplayer game? Why would you give yourself that job?
Professionals.
Yeah. We would love to make a multiplayer game, guys. We would really love to. It's just a shame we're making Empires of the Undergrowth instead. Next on the list is 3 Kingdoms, 1 Tower.
This was interesting.
Nice artwork, submitted by Meat Boy Hickleberry.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Matt, you can technically do this, right? As long as not too many textures cross over in the same area.
As of last year, you can do it. Yeah, it wasn't possible till we did tier 4.
I like the story. There's the only one that there's a story with, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
we'd have to put that in the little level.
That would be the description. Yeah. I'm going to make sure that whichever one we do select, we'll get a based on an idea by X. In the thing. I think we've got to include that, haven't we? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. There you go. That's Meat Boy's map. On Meat Boy's map, because there's a lot of text. I'll put it full screen in case anyone wants to have a bit closer look at those.
Yeah. I think if you were actually to play that, you want the different types of creatures coming from the different zones.
Yeah. You would want to set who is who.
So again, it might be a better as an extra level rather than a free play, because it's not really possible.
Like it might be that they might dictate the difficulty levels. Like if you could choose which colony you were in the extra, like as an extra level on startup, you might find that playing as leaf cutters is much harder than fire ants, and then you have the difficulty levels on top of that. It could be like quite interesting for challenges. But yeah, it does seem like more of an extra level than a free play.
Okay, moving on. Enclaves or Enclaves, however you want to pronounce it, by Solstitium, or just Sol as he prefers to be known. Yeah, there you go. I'll full screen it.
So, another one that feels like it's a 3v1.
Yes, it is a 3v1.
It says 3v1.
Oh,
he stated it
at the top.
I quite like the idea of 3v1. But as the player, you definitely would only want to play from the one position, I think.
Unless you were Sol himself, who's one of the founding members of the ICS, and would probably hate to be on the easy side. He would want to play from one of the difficult positions.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels like the colony in the center could grow faster than the others, so it might kind of balance out. If you give them enough resources to grow fast enough, it might sort of balance out the difficulty. So the colony just got massive really quickly compared to the other 3.
I don't think there's a reason for the islands to connect to each other by bridges. For the level to work, just the bridge, it's just the islands to the mainland. So then, if you got rid of those ones, you get rid of the circular problem. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Moving on to our next map, we have Elena's map. Now I'm definitely got to put this one full screen because there's lots of text with which is a slightly lighter shade of purple to the background.
What's in the middle there?
It's a whip spider.
It's a whip spider, clearly.
Big whippy.
Is it a hybrid whip spider with an ant?
It's just a whip spider, Liam.
Just a normal whip spider. I'm going to zoom in. Yeah, it's just a normal whip spider. Oh, I sounded disappointed there. It looks excellent anyway. I really like the pitcher plants as well.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
Carnivorous plant hybrid is what it is.
I would have. Yeah, it is. I would have never. I mean, the sort of the size of the icon and it being so obvious what it is impressive.
I'll just read out the smaller text because a few people are saying it's difficult. Basics. They're partially based on the idea of a map for a bridge too far, a large hill in the middle where resources get better as you go up, but there is also dangerous creatures. There are small islands around the hill that have resources. The paths to these islands, as well as the hill, can be flooded, preventing access for small amounts of time. Large swamp map. So that's what that small text says. That's probably difficult to read on a stream or on a phone, whatever you're watching it on. Okay, so yeah, it's
I really like this.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Yeah, it'd work, no doubt about it. Okay, let's move on to our next entry. Flooded Forest by Light Rider 3000. Nice artwork on this one, undeniably.
Yeah. So,
nice and clear.
I've written down this was probably like it had a similar vibe to Straw Clutch.
Yes, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first looked at it, I thought the players would be on the outside, but then I spotted them on the inside, and I preferred that. I'm more excited about the idea when I spotted that.
Yeah, this is like the extreme version of islands around a larger island. This is probably as many as you could fit in and still make sense, you know. Actually make them worthwhile. Yeah. I
like the idea of no one wanting to attack the Titan, but it being in everybody's way.
Oh God! Got to work my way around the whip spider again.
Yeah.
Oh, a bullfrog spawned.
Who's going to attack it first?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just wait for two and three to attack it, and then.
I don't like these maps, though. They're making me want multiplayer.
We always want multiplayer.
Well, you should have thought that.
Usual.
You should have thought about that. All right. So that's Flooded Forest. I like this one.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next map, we have Adam's map. Again, wasn't given a name, but it was submitted by Adam Isaac. But I included this one because even though it's a fairly straightforward-looking thing, I like the idea of we could probably do it with existing assets, having a large broken log in the centre as kind of a blocked-off different arena. I think you could probably use existing bits and bobs to make that happen without. But other than that, it's fairly straightforward. Yeah.
Would be very interesting to see a giant log across the whole of the map.
Yeah.
It's carved out, so the nests are in it.
Yeah, 2 nests are in it.
So you'd have to use bark assets on the outside and then texture the floor with brown textures, and I think it could work. It could look nice, which is why I thought this one is it'd have a unique look to it.
You could make
use some of the underground log textures from the 1x levels. You could use those in the overground
to get some of that kind of crumbly looking, wooden texture. Yeah, it could work. That would definitely what the undergrounds would be anyway on this one.
Yeah, the nest 4 and 2 would have different undergrounds, so you kind of know where you were when you started as well, which would be nice. All
right. Okay. Thank you, Adam, for that map. Moving on to the next one. Ant War Master's map, submitted by guess who? Ant War Master. Okay. So this is another take on the kind of river in the woods kind of look. Which a couple of the maps on here have, but I thought just the large islands that this creates was worth a look.
Yeah, the person in the bottom left seems like they're surrounded.
Yes, you a bit of RNG on the spawn there.
Yes, bottleneck.
To be fair, top left as well, because that bridge, the way that bridge falls, they're both there.
Both to go through the same choke point. And they have to go past. Is that a Titan with the red bar above it? Maybe.
I think that's a Titan. Yeah.
Oh, it's dreadful. You wouldn't want to spawn.
Yeah, but there'll be like whoever comes like over that bridge to 2 when they're actually coming, they'll be very seasoned warriors.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be 2 when they're coming, really.
Yeah.
We've got aphid numbers on there, right? They're the number of aphids that are going to appear on those plants. You want to be
unfortunate
2.
for.
I think you want to be 2, really.
Yeah.
I think this would probably be a case where you'd rearrange a couple of them to make it a bit fairer.
Maybe that's the
Or
point.
maybe that is the point. Yes.
Yeah, I think it could be important to the.
Or what we're not considering is that perhaps it's been considered already and accounted for in the underground.
Naked Singularity says maybe put one of the bottom left in the empty island on the upper right. That would probably, rather than 2 squashed over on
balance
balance it out. Yeah. Anyway, I just like the layout of that one. The asymmetrical
4
kind of
seems
look.
to have the most food underground, so now I'm stumped.
4 just never leaves their underground. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Niche B's map. Full screen for this one, I think. So food on the centre. We've got definite fire ant bridges there, haven't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yep. I think this again. There's circularity definitely there, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
But
the colonies are on the outside, so it doesn't look like it's. Well, it's probably quite important.
It's not a vote. No, we're gonna. Well, not me. The 3 guys are going to choose one. We're not voting, so you don't need to take notes. Don't worry. Just watch.
I think this one's meant to be a bit like Rising Tide, in that the shrimp are meant to replace themselves as the tide rises and lowers.
Okay.
Apparently, Gamer Ants in the chat made this one. So is that right, Gamer Ants? We might have to wait a little while for the reply.
But it says there, rough circle, food in form of shrimp replenished after high tide. So, I'm pretty sure that's what the idea is, which makes sense. And that would be fairly simple to implement, actually, having a food drop after tide rise and lowers.
Reese says Mike had a Goliath bird-eating spider. Matt, you're here. That would be your job.
I was supposed to say yes, definitely. We'll have that.
Is it the whole map, just that thing?
Yeah, it'd be most of that map, I imagine. Yeah.
I want to do it now, but
don't we already have half an Indian ornamental in the game?
We do. There's barely a Goliath bird.
It's hard. No, it's not that big. Anyway, there you go. Thank you for that map, Gamer Ants or Niche. Let's move on to the next one. Rainforest Islands, submitted by Owen. Very intricate little selection of islands and a very colourful little legend on the left-hand side there, but very nice and readable. You can definitely see what's going on.
I like how you can see the clear paths that your ants are going to take. It's one of the things we've always got to work around in our game is the direction that the ants are going to go. But in this one, you're going to know where they're going.
Yeah.
I really like this one. I particularly liked that it was a load of islands and a load of connections without the need for fire ant bridges. Which I don't know. It's quite a simple idea, but it's different than anything we've got, I think.
Yeah.
And Hercules Beetle as well, that would be...
Oh, yeah.
We've got a Hercules Beetle, which we'd have to add. Yeah, again, that's another one for Matt, so Matt's got 2 large creatures to be working on.
We haven't got any large beetles in the game? We haven't got any big beetles, do we?
We could scale up a tiger beetle, I guess.
Rubbish.
Is a Hercules Beetle bigger than a tiger beetle?
You've seen them before.
I think so.
I know what they look like. They're the ones with the horn... Right? Is that one?
What's can we do something?
Quite big. They're like this big as your hand.
The original Titan, of course. The original Titan that was revealed for Empires of the Undergrowth back in the day was the Titan Beetle. which was literally called that, and that's where we got the name Titan from.
The Hercules beetle's way cooler.
And then we've not got any Titan beetles in the game at all.
Hercules beetle is longer than a hand.
What's the thing that Hercules wears? The white sheet that goes around.
A toga.
A loincloth.
Okay.
Yeah. Couldn't you just put a toga around a beetle? Call that the Hercules beetle.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure Owen would be
faster
happy
to
with
make the Hercules beetle than do the
I think
cloth physics.
that's kind of the definition of the letter rather than the spirit there, Liam. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to our next one. Thank you very much, Owen, for submitting that lovely map. Okay. Next up is Reservoir by Sidekick 9500 or 9500, I guess you'd say it with the comma being there. Okay. So a small
Lots
wet
of
parcel of
layers on
land
this
next
map.
to a lake. Yes. A quite complicated setup with all the colours, which is a bit difficult to get your head around.
I think a lot of thought's been put into this map. It looks like some of our early drawings of 4-2.
Does it?
There's a lot of...
I don't know if any of you guys have seen the artwork that these guys make for their concepts. They're nowhere near as good as most of these, by the way. Nowhere near.
They are a lot worse.
Yeah.
And because of that, it causes problems when we're putting the levels together.
Yep. We're some kind of operation.
Making these free play maps is going to be so much easier than working off our normal notes.
You should just do them all.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Turn them out.
So we've not got any kind of weird bridging problems going on here, have we? Or have we?
I don't think so.
We do have. Hang on. The red ones.
I think there is one over there on the
Okay.
left.
It's fairly easy to sort out. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a complicated up and down one. And again, probably needs more than a couple of minutes to look at to properly appreciate. But the guys all looked at these earlier, by the way, so that they have all had a look at all of the entries. So thank you, Sidekick, for that one. We shall move on to our next map, which is called Roadmap or potentially Spiral or the Shell. But this one was inspired by the current roadmap, which is an image up on Steam and in the newsletters. And I just used a map that Liam made. I think it's the New Year's level, one of the spiral mountains that you made in that.
All right.
So that's where the inspiration for this one comes from, hence the name Roadmap.
Oh, wonderful.
So we've got a spiral setup, quite a fairly straightforward looking one, but I think deceptively complex once you read the.
I want to mention something they mentioned about their underground concept, which I thought was nice. The underground is the idea is that you've got to really fight for space. So it's not so you've got to open into the next area and take on the enemies for it. So it's not, you can't just simply expand wherever you want. You've got to really fight for the space underground, which I thought was a nice idea.
I mean, I like this kind of. I forget which map it was. The one that was like a basin, but not the basin, like a bowl, and it was low at the bottom, high at the sides, and we had the discussion about it being unfair depending on where you spawned. And this is kind of like embracing that. It's like really blocking it off, so you know, if you start in the middle, you've got to go past everybody. I
think it'd be a good 1v1v1v1 with good replay potential is the point.
Yeah, I like the simplicity of. I know it would be different play each time, but I think it'd be easy to understand the differences between the different spawn locations quickly.
Yeah, as Magpie says, fairly small, but the smaller maps tend to be faster paced. You know, that's the as we know with Towhead, which is in the game currently. Anyway, yeah, there you go. Thank you, Daniela, for that one. Next map is Outer Banks by Diego. Okay, just go full screen on this one. This one is Fire Ant Bridge crazy. So some of the longest fire ant bridges that exist outside of the demo level. outside of Promised Land.
It seems like a two-phase map. This really, like it's more of an open, wide map for part of the game, and then the water rises and it becomes like a much tighter struggle with less space. I mean, it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty map. It's a real shame when not looking at these that I want to play it like it's supposed to be played, but we would have to chop off loads of those bridges so that they were singular routes just going to an island or something, and you wouldn't be able to get to each other's colonies with them because it would create these circular issues.
This is a map that I'd like to see how it plays if you fully implemented fire ant bridges in probably ways that you're not intending on doing so, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of complications that would arise in this kind of, yeah.
You can kind of, like, even though, I mean, at the moment, if you create a circular bridge, it crashes the engine. But you can, if you actually just start to think about how the ants would react to there being two bridges going to the same place in a circuit and placing the marker somewhere halfway between,
you'd have to put
the group back and forth. Like,
you'd have to put some probably fairly vague rules that would be frustrating to try and figure out. Yeah,
it'd be incredibly frustrating for the player as well. Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was definitely worth a look. Diego says it could probably work without them, without the bridges. Nice. Yeah, I'm sure it could. Thanks, Diego, for your entry. Next up is Trenches by CFG_Doom_Boom_Ender.
Well,
Now this is one of the ones it talks about a mechanic we don't have in free play, which is army ant trails.
Yeah,
and there's another one in.
I have to ask John if it's possible.
There's another one in honourable mentions that is similar to this for this reason. But this one, even without the army ant trails, I could see would be just a darn good free play map. But
yeah,
if that is
work without,
yes, it would. But the point is, army ant trails. Could we do them for free play one day? Do we want to put John on the spot?
Come on, John.
I think you could simplify them just to the point where it's spawning army ants that come out one place and go into another. I mean, on the level, it's quite a complicated mechanic in that they speed up and slow down and they reverse, and then you push them back. But they wouldn't necessarily be pushing back the trails in this. I don't think there's a suggestion that is a mechanic here.
No, they're just trails.
They're just there.
You just need to put down army ant specific patrol routes with a source and an end,
and then you just have to either have. I guess you'd have a separate force that deals with the army ants while you kind of cross where they are. You know, that kind of. It does
open the curtain. To get your
it does add an extra use for some of those further pheromone markers that people don't use very often, probably.
Like the idea of opening the curtain, sending your forces out, and then letting it go because you'll be out for a while and do some stuff, and then having to let them back in again.
All right,
maybe it'd work like that.
I like this one. I thought this was it was kind of clearly an honourable mention one, but then I thought about it and I thought, hang on, you know what? The guys need to see this one. All right. Thank you, CFG_Doom_Boom_Ender for your submission. You're
supposed to say Ender, like, after you've said all that, it should have more impact. Ender. Just a little bit of that.
Next up. Ender. Japanese Jungle. This one has been designed in some form of CAD software, clearly.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Extra point for that.
Yeah. That, to be honest, that's why it's here mainly, because it's visually interesting from that point of view. Yeah.
I mean, it looks like each colony has their own little area to harvest in.
Mm-hmm.
They all seem to have a ramp down.
This just reminds me of old custom maps from Warcraft 3. I'm just imagining something like this.
What you mean the very? Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like it's not been designed to look realistic
to
or
fit into the theme,
right, or it's been designed for a very particular kind of gameplay.
For someone thought, you know what, I want the game to play this way, therefore I don't care about aesthetics or actually how the game is designed to look.
I really like this one, but it's another one of those, again, makes me wish for multiplayer more than usual. What humans would do with this.
Somewhere in another universe, there is people happily playing Empires of the Undergrowth multiplayer.
You know what points of reference means, the blue hexagons?
Points of reference, it doesn't just refer to landmarks, does it? Because John calls them points of interest in various media, so it's probably that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Duma Dono TV, for that one. Next one. River Delta by Danny1005. It very much looks like a delta. So it fits its theme perfectly.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's very pretty concept.
Yeah, it's one that if you looked at the minimap, you'd see clear, geological. What's the word I'm looking for? Influence. Yeah. Clearly inspired by reality. Yeah.
Not going to be a symmetrical one, this one.
I mean, it could be across the middle, if you wanted.
Yeah.
But I had a problem with this one. When the water rises, I think the idea is it really looks like a river delta with all the little streams, and if we wanted to have it work again, either those islands need to be completely separated, or they need to have persistent paths across, because we'll end up with these circular bridges.
Yeah.
But a map that has a clear idea and does it very well, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's very pretty as well.
So thank you, Danny, for that submission. Next up, we are done. Those are all 22 of our maps. Okay, so we are going to have a scheduled 5-minute break. Then we'll be back. So let's say 5 minutes ish. So if anyone needs to go and get a top up on the drink or use the loo, grab a snack, do something vital that you've been putting off that will take less than 5 minutes, now is the time to do it. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
5 to be precise.
5 to be precise, unless you're reading the BRB screen, which still says 5, because that's not going to update during. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, right, guys, we will be back in 5 minutes, or 4, or 3, or 2. And
see you in a few minutes.
Yeah, see you in a few minutes.
Some pills here, which is food, and we need to harvest that. Plenty, because there's a lot more food on this map. John quite rightly recognised that the other map was a bit stingy as far as food goes. So yeah, more food here. We need to define a tile. I think the area food made the other map a bit more challenging. For our not everyone ants to store the food, so I'm just going to use this tool here. So I've got to be to create a larder. I want a bit more food before I come back here to. This is going to be the area that the ants store food for us. I'm not going to lead a chamber directly to my queen, because as soon as she's once they've done that, they'll start rearranging. Can't reproduce anymore. The pills. So now instead, I'm going to the trick to enter this tunnel that's a little bit long maximum, so it's not directly to it. Is they're now storing in which you attack things like down here. I'm pretty sure is the mother loads get death food. Once we start to come along and a bit more similarly list the food as well. There's food there, but there's also enemies, so I'm not okay. And just run in there. We're going to need a few more workers, not too many. I found in this demo we can get to before we have to overdo it with the workers, because workers are free to respawn. So, but if you look, when I carry on put down a worker tile. I'm just cost 5 each. Enemies will try and run towards my corner. So I'm just gonna have maybe that many for now. Taking it back to the storage chambers, my worker chamber up here. And I'm not sure about this. Along they come. There's no system. I don't prepare the area to. So these are now come down here. Work in one of these tiles, and then they'll come along to the queen. Grab a grab an egg from her, pop them in the chamber, and then when these fellas hatch, or these ladies rather hatch, they'll be new workers. Oh, look at that animation. So yeah, okay, we've got 7 workers. I think we should probably have a few more. It's like popcorn. It's very satisfying to watch. Because this. We've got some lovely, fresh-faced workers ready to our fellas to tell us if let's get a question for Underground domination. Then we'll go into battle. They'll immediately come and add new workers will come along, prepare those soldiers to the black ant trials. But these won't hatch until the antics associated with that tile dies. And in this demo version, it's free for them to rehatch, to respawn, basically. It is respawning. There is going to be.
I don't think it'll be like that in the final game, but for the purpose of this demo, it's free for
the wait.
Free for the workers to rehatch. I think 16's plenty for now, so we're just going to carry on expanding
about how things are going with the Kickstarter. I love watching this animation. We're just about a week into the Kickstarter now.
Once we've got 100 food or so, we'll start thinking about
90% of the way to their goal.
because we are going to meet some nasty, creepy crawlies. Some
utterly astounding.
As they pop, you see,
I don't think they expected it.
Up here,
the soldier ran. Right. Considering
the
exclamation marks,
they're lacking a place where there are
enthusiasm.
There's one down here
From the public, but not outright.
This direction.
Yeah, we need this now.
You can just drag. You don't have to.
That's changed, and I think that's probably because
it's so
they're
satisfying
aware of the way the Kickstarter works.
You suggest what
stronger
the ants
this
do,
time,
and they come and do it for you. You don't. It's like the old dungeon keeper if you ever played that, or our queen, of course. You don't control the units directly. Instead, you give them
more
orders.
focused, and it's working very well.
They decide to make things in their own time.
We move into a cave.
Pills.
We'll
Some pills
use this
here,
area
which is
food,
and we need to harvest that.
Plenty, because there's a lot more food on this map. John
to
quite
build our
rightly
colony.
recognised that the other map was a bit stingy as far as food goes.
So yeah, more food here. We need to define a tile.
I think
or
the
an
stingy
area
food made the other map a bit more challenging.
for our
Not everyone
ants to store the food. So I'm just going to use this tool here.
So I've got to be
To create a larder.
I want a bit more food before I come back here to.
And this is going to be the area that the ants store
try and be
food for
crafty.
us. I'm not going to lead a chamber directly to my queen because as soon as she's once they've done that, they'll start rearranging and reproduce the pills. So instead, I'm going to
the trick to
and then
this
this tunnel
game
that's a
here,
little bit long maximum, so it's not
maximum
directly to it.
is
They're now storing
in which you attack things like down here. I'm pretty sure is the mother loads get to this food. Once we start
come along
and a bit more
similarly
similarly
list the food as well.
There's food there, but there's also enemies, so I'm not
Okay, and
just run in there.
we're going to need a few more workers, not too many. I found in
There's
this
a lot of
demo
food we can get to before we
you
have
can
to
overdo it with the
encounter
workers because workers are free to respawn.
So
But if you look, when I
carry on
put down a
worker
worker tile,
I'm
they
just
cost 5
the way
each.
the enemies will try and run towards my corner.
So I'm just gonna have maybe that many for now. Taking it back to the storage chambers, worker chamber up here.
I'm not sure about this.
And along they come.
There's no system to.
I don't prepare the area.
to.
So these are now
if we come down here, they
working
get one of
these
these
tiles,
tiles,
and then they'll come along to the queen, grab a
I'm reliably informed.
grab an egg from her,
The kind of
pop them in the chamber, and then when these fellas hatch, or these ladies rather hatch, there'll be new workers. Oh, look at that animation.
So okay, we've got 7.
Okay,
That's the workers.
and
I think we should probably.
And she's a bit
have
safer.
a few more.
It's like popcorn. It's very satisfying to watch.
Because
Dig
this.
we've got some lovely, fresh-faced workers ready to our fellas to tell us if let's get a question for Underground domination. Then we'll go into battle. They'll immediately come and add new workers will come along, prepare those soldiers to the black ant trials. But these won't hatch until the antics associated with that tile dies. And in this demo version, it's free for them to rehatch, to respawn. Basically, it is respawning.
There is going to be.
I don't think it'll be like that in the final game, but for the purpose of this demo, it's free for
the wait.
free for the workers to rehatch. I think 16's plenty for now, so we're just going to carry on
Talk
expanding
about how things are going with the Kickstarter. I love watching this animation. We're just about a week into the Kickstarter now.
Once we've got 100 food or so, we'll start thinking about
90% of the way to their goal.
because we are going to meet some nasty, creepy crawlies. Some
Utterly astounding.
as they pop, you see.
I don't think they expected it.
Up here,
the soldier ran. Right. Considering
the
way
exclamation
they're
marks,
they're lacking
to a place where there are
enthusiasm.
There's one down here.
From the public.
We're back.
Not
We're back.
This direction. Yeah.
Can you still hear
We're back.
a million mics on top of each other, or have they gone?
Can you still hear? Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
You shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have done that at all.
Oh no, we're all frozen.
Yeah, I'm frozen. There you go. You're back now. You're back now.
There you go, man.
It's fine. Okay, we're good. Can you hear us, guys? Yeah, we back. Okay.
We are back.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Right, we've got our final three. We'll talk about what those are in just a minute. But I think we've got 4 just honourable mentions to quickly have a look at. Let me just check if the music.
Oh, we've gone. We've disappeared.
Yeah. You'll be back in a sec.
Oh.
Okay.
Hmm.
You'll be back in a sec. I wanted some music. End of playlist. What's going on there? Okay.
You got to the end of your playlist.
Okay, you're back now. Duh, John. Jesus. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Good. We're back. Yeah. I will just double check, but I think it's 4 for the honourable mentions, and we'll just quickly go through them and say why they weren't considered. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4, and then a couple that I've got no image for that I'll just mention briefly. Right. Okay. So just talking about the honourable mentions then. Here's the first one. The Kara or the Chara River by Dio Aron. And the reason this is an honourable mention rather than a full one is because it's absolutely huge. Look at it.
Looks like a GTA map.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... Yeah. I mean, it's like Delta Plus. It's clearly a Delta, and it looks very, very realistic. There's some lakes in there.
You just need a helicopter to get from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
You want to truly stretch the engine to its limits.
Yeah. I think it's a case of... Not everyone understands. I've seen a few people say things like, well, let's choose an example. Fortnite has huge maps. Why can't Empires of the Undergrowth do it? And the answer is Fortnite isn't a real-time strategy. That has to have, pathfinding they can find anywhere on the map in one go. So everything, or a representation of everything, has to be in memory at once, is the point.
The Fortnite team's a little bit bigger than our team.
Also, Fortnite team has at least 5 developers.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. Certainly 4. Yeah. Anyway, Dio Aron, thank you for the submission. The artwork's fantastic and the idea is great. It just is not practical for Empires of the Undergrowth. Okay, next up we've got Duke It Out by Mosasaurus, who is an artist who posts on our Discord quite a lot. And I've seen Moses' artwork improve hugely over 18 months. A young fella, and is now a way better drawer than I am. And the reason the artwork is great to look at here, but also if you read it, this is an extra level, not a free play map.
Yeah.
Fun one.
It sounds really an interesting one.
Yeah,
it's like really intricate.
It's a cool idea. Yeah, I'll put this full screen so anyone can have a look if they like. But if you want to read this one in full, join our Discord and have a look at in the archive channels where the map competition is. You can see Moses' entry, as well as most of the ones that are in this live stream as well, apart from the ones that were email exclusive. But Moser, thank you for that.
Really cool map.
For that submission. It was fantastic.
Okay.
Next up, No Ants Land by Omega, also known lesserly as Edward. And this one would be an okay map, but its big gimmick is the army ants across the middle. And it was one or the other includes this one or Trenches, and Trenches is the one that I think is a more interesting looking free play map. So that's why Trenches was in the running and this one wasn't. But it again shows that in people's mind is the idea of army ants going across the map in free play. Yeah.
None of the advanced mechanics just go away at night. I see. So it's like a day-night cycle thing.
I mean, yeah. I imagine they're probably really. I mean, that's very doable in free play, isn't it? You just put them on the the patrol manager with just spawn in army ants and set them to immediate despawn.
Would something weird happened if you saved and loaded it? Would they like be stood around looking?
No,
they'd save their.
They'd fine.
So it could work in theory.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something to think about. Okay. Next we've got Railway, and now this is this reminds me absolutely of a Team Fortress 2 map, the Well, I think, which is in the centre, just has trains going back and forth that just randomly, jib anyone who gets in the way of them. It could. I just thought it was a fun idea. It could work. I mean, it'd have to be tiny little trains, tiny little trains, because
instead of just a huge velvet worm, just peg it across the middle.
Just a big creature, a big creature that just doesn't care about the ants, just flattening them. Yeah. It was a cool idea, though. It's the idea of an environmental threat, which is outside of anyone's control, quite similar to the scientist's hand from that point of view. An uninteractable threat or hazard, which has to be thought about. But I don't think it was really in the running for that reason. I don't think we're about to add trains.
I like trains.
They've got some ideas of how we might add trains.
So therefore, okay, Matt and John, I think, have decided to add trains now.
Yeah, decided. You heard it here first.
Choo choo.
He was being sarcastic, by the way, just before I get someone else. Or was he? Or was he? Okay.
I bet a train is one of those assets you can really easily just find on the asset marketplace. I mean,
right.
Train itself wouldn't be a problem, would it? Like, we could just grab a train, stick it in.
Right. So those are all our honourable mentions. There's just a couple that are worth a mention that I don't have an image for, and those are we had a submission by Unga, who submitted a map. The images weren't great, so I couldn't really get them at high enough resolution for this. But what they did submit is a 15-minute video describing their map. We don't have time for a 15-minute video to watch a 15-minute video here, unfortunately. But I've put the link in chat. So if anyone would like to watch Ungar's video about their map submission, then there you do it. I'll make sure it's down in the description as well of the VOD when this live stream is over. Other honourable mention is there was a entry from Billy, the Billy side of the competition, which was designed entirely in Minecraft. And again, that's another video which we can't watch. I'm not set up for watching videos on this stream. But the link then is also available in chat if anyone would like to have a look. Definitely worth a watch, and it was very, very beautifully made with pink blossoms to represent various things and stuff. Other couple of mentions, or one more mention. Helix, who's one of our testing group, gets the Cheeky Award for trying to submit a Heart of the Swarm map with some things drawn on it. We can't really do that, but I admire the.
Which map was it?
It wasn't one of it's in the Discord if you want to have a look at it. Yeah, but how should I put it? I admire the testicular fortitude of just doing that and submitting that as your idea. But anyway, I think it's down to our final judging. We over the 5-minute break, which ended up being 7 or 8, I think, in the end, we made a decision and narrowed down the 22 to 3 possibilities. So we'll just talk about those in turn. The first of those, trenches. So that's one of our 3 finalists. Who would like to start the debate?
We go on. You're going, Matt.
I like the use of army ants. So we just saw another army ant level, of course, in the
which was disqualified for having army ants.
We have to consider both on some level, I guess. But yeah, and this one I think has more use of army ant, like more interesting use of army ants. So perhaps this is still the one. I would have been.
There's some sort of plan of. Is there some sort of plan for which route would set off when, or are they all going constantly?
Oh, I don't think they're going constantly.
I guess that would be up to us. I imagine them going constantly
I think maybe constantly in certain spots, and then occasionally they get more hazardous. That's how I imagine it. And then occasionally they die down again, or...
I was picturing it as a sort of shield outside your nest, which was always annoying that you had to get through. Maybe by fighting it, you depleted it, but it would always come back the next day. I guess you could do a day-night cycle with it as well.
Give people a chance to roam without them.
They are, they're diurnal, aren't they? They're only around in the day, so...
Yeah.
Okay, so trench is definitely one of the... currently a 33.33% chance of it being chosen. Let's have a look at the other ones. Next up is straw clutch. Why did you choose this one? Who did?
I liked the aphid,
Yeah, same reasons we said before.
I like aphids.
Yeah. Aphids, fight for aphids, please.
There was another level that had aphids quite prominently. I think it was the shell one, or the spiral, the roadmap one. But this one seemed to focus a little bit stronger on the aphid side. And it's a bigger symmetrical map. So what, John?
Yeah, it's a very condensed idea. Like it's distilled. It's really focusing on that core idea of this battle for the aphids and building everything around that, which gives the level a clear focus and makes it feel different to anything we've had before.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how colonies in such close proximity to each other work. I mean,
I want to see more stealing aphids off your competitors as well.
Allies.
I mean,
allies.
Well, can you anymore? I fixed that, so you shouldn't be able to now.
You should have the option.
Chat, is it fixed?
You should the player have the option to steal aphids off their allies? Good question.
Okay. The final... sorry. Have a crick in my neck there. The final map that we chose is Enclaves, or Enclaves. So
I like the idea of a 3v1. It was bridge-wise, it was implementable. We'd have to cut off some of the circular ones, but like Liam pointed out, when we looked at this, it don't really need to have the connections between the islands themselves. I think I just like the idea of it on my side, and everybody else feels.
No, I liked it. It was a nice map. I mean, the way that stuff gets cut off is I don't know how much that changes things. You have to make a bridge instead of walking over. I don't know if that's... I don't know what change that makes, because a lot of the ones with bridges, the bridge created a different route, like a shortcut. But this looks like it's basically the same route, but by bridge.
It means you can't attack when the bridge is there unless you've got a certain amount of ants, though.
That's
so
true.
It kind of, when it's bridge time, you have to have a certain amount of ants in order to reach them.
Later in the game.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe you want to rush numbers so you can make the bridge.
all right.
This map, it seemed like it was going to create a unique feel again, like similar to what was it, straw
clutch.
Straw clutch, yeah. Like it was going to create something that felt different and exciting, like all the ones we picked, really.
Yeah, you've already narrowed it down from 200 to 22.
Yeah.
So I mean, they were all. I mean, I'd like to play all of them, really.
Yeah. None of them were bad at all. Yeah, that's why they're all here in the finals. And we've got a choice of 3 very good ones at the end there. So basically,
I'm just wondering how this would play if there was no if there were no bridges and you were kind of locked off, and probably just be. It would be good if it was obviously, I think it would be interesting if you were the one on the mainland, because then it would play more like sort of these three enemies that can't get to you, so you have this respite when the water comes high, but then you can see them getting ready to attack you. But then that's not really in the spirit of free play, I guess. You want to be able to play as one of those in the water as well.
I think it's time to make a final decision then. Chat have clearly made up their mind, but we're
What does chat say?
Chat like trenches. It is not chat that are voting here, though. It is our three developers.
You shouldn't have told me what they said, because chat have got to play it, right?
Chat, however, are not developers.
Well, out of those three, my vote's for Straw Clutch.
Straw Clutch?
Yeah.
I'll say my initial vote was going to be for trenches, so I'll stick by that, knowing that John has to make the decision in the end.
Oh, damn it, I should have done at the beginning.
The Kingmaker.
You got a coin somewhere.
I'll do it that way.
You can't.
Like,
As the main implementer of the level, John, you do have an important voice in this.
Yeah, John is the one who actually is going to be making it. Actually, putting it into practice, implementing it.
Hey, which one would you rather make?
so I'll vote for Enclaves.
We have a tie team.
That means that John has to make all three, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what we did.
Let me just find a D3. I've got one knocking around somewhere. No. What are we going for? What are we going for?
I feel like one of us should change our vote, Matt. Like, make this easy on John.
Look, John is he needs to. Need to believe.
I mean,
no one's gonna make it easy on me.
You could refer your vote.
trenches as well. I want to see the curtains of army ants. So, but I want that aphid fight.
The aphid fight is really interesting. I know how army ants play. I've not seen aphids bunched up like that before.
I want to see how my AI does in that scenario.
It might give you some ideas. Yeah. People are saying Mike tiebreaker. No, I'm not doing that. No.
Tell you what, the AI will struggle to get out of a curtain of army ants.
It will.
It won't figure out how to send two beams to the side to break the curtain.
If we include the army ant trails, Liam, you've got to put a bunch of extra stuff into AI, basically. Yeah. There's no way around it. I mean, they already struggle a bit anyway with environmental creatures, so...
Does that help you, John?
Yeah. Well, I'll change my vote to Straw Clutch then.
Straw Clutch. I think it's the sensible decision here of the three. So, I've not got like a pre-rendered fanfare or anything. I guess I can go, yay! There we go.
Can't you use one of those Discord buttons?
Yeah, we got the Discord.
Can you do it?
Probably. You won't hear it because it'll be.
Might hear it.
Let me see.
I don't know how this works.
Can't see the button. There you go.
That's the wrong one.
You got the so we had the clap for Straw Clutch, and then the sad womp womp for trenches there. Add a poll. Laura says we're not doing as much as I love democracy. We're not doing democracy. John is the one who has to implement it, and as pointed out, yes, as things stand, trenches. Although it's going to be on their mind now, and I think John's probably going to keep it in the back of his mind for the future. The AI will just outright fail against army ant
I'm glad I realised that.
Yeah. So
because he would just be trying to fight through them, and then I mean, if they were strong enough, they'd make it out, but they would be pretty stupid about it, and you don't get any food from army ants, so it would be very difficult for the AI. Yeah.
With a whole other branch specifically for Trails of Army Ants.
Oh dear.
Oh,
is it back?
Discord's having problems.
I went. Oh right, it's just Discord, is it?
Yeah. Okay, well there we go. It's straw clutch, but by the thank you, Matt. By the look on their faces, I can tell no one's 100% on it.
I just feel bad for all the others that we can't make
This
them
is
all.
this is an anti-ant world, Liam. John was waiting for someone to say some kind of pun. Okay, thanks guys. I think that's the end of my slideshow now. Yeah, it just goes back to the start now. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone. People calling for a revote. Yeah, this is what it's like when you annoy the community.
I think that annoyed. I can't see the text.
Everyone's saying trenches, revote. Revote, please. No. The choice has been made. Yeah. You can basically, guys. You can think about it this way. Would you like? I know what the answer's going to be though.
It's just the trenches. Yeah.
They'll ignore whatever I say. I mean, what I'm going to say is, do you want to wait, 6 months plus for Liam to include the extra?
I really don't want to work on the AI to make that work. I really don't.
We're deep in 5x levels now. We do not want to pull out from those levels to.
Even I don't even know what that AI would be like to figure out to do that. It would only be AI for this level. It's not.
Yeah, unless you then included army ants as a general hazard in free play. Yeah.
Let's not make those.
Let's not right now. No. I think the sensible map with something that hasn't been tried yet is straw clutch there of those three. Yeah. All right. Okay. So that's it. We're done.
I can go to bed now.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining me. Thank you everyone who submitted a map. We did look at them all. If we had hours to spare, then we would have looked at them all on stream. But I looked at them all off stream, and I'll make sure that everyone who submits a map gets in the next newsletter. A little section at the bottom of the newsletter with everyone's names who submitted a map. Okay, brilliant. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time on Empires of the Undergrowth.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Bye, everybody.
Bye.